In this video, I just want to demonstrate how to install and configure the Learning Object Relation Discovery plugin. So logged into Moodle here as administrator, gone to Site Administration, Plugins, Install Plugins. We'll upload a zip file. This is just a basic plugin installation, same as any other plugin, very simple and straightforward. And as soon as this is done here, we'll see two administrator options for the lowered block. And the first is to show the lowered block. So we can install that in a course and uncheck this, and the block itself then won't show up in the course. The other option is to start the relation discovery process. This needs to be turned on in order for the plugin to extract the content from learning objects and then compare those learning objects. That's the relation discovery process. So by default it's turned off because it can be a bit of a long-running process, but if you want to do that, you have to turn it on from within the administrator options. So then to install it in the course, again, same as any other block, go to your course, turn editing on, add a block, and just like that, the block is in the course. So the block itself has a couple of other settings. You'll see it down here. Let's click on the settings here. So we can turn the relation discovery process on and off globally. We can also do it for each course. Right, so in order to get the learning objects compared, of course, that's going to need to be checked. And then we have a couple options here to control the number of paragraphs that get compared, the number of sentences in each paragraph that get compared, and the number of words to allow, the maximum number of words to allow in a sentence. And then there's a few weights here. Each learning object is composed of a name, an introduction, and then possibly some content that I consider to be just paragraphs and sentences. So the names are compared only to names, introductions are compared only to introductions, and all the rest of the content is compared to the rest of the content. So this can be, you can set this up so that you only compare the names, for instance, by changing these two to 0 or something along those lines. There's also some reset options. If any comparison errors happen, come in here to reset them. We can also reset all comparisons, which will have to start the whole relation discovery process all over again. So you can do that if you want, but that's not necessarily the right thing to do. You can set all the learning content at comparisons, which basically undoes everything and starts right over again from scratch. And there's also a list of stop words here. When content is compared from one learning object to the other, stop words are pulled out, as well as words that aren't in WordNet. So we can come in here and adjust this list of stop words. So this hasn't actually been populated yet, but once it is, this will be full of words. The reason it's not populated first on install is because the cron task actually has to run first before this will get populated. So we're going to turn the discovery process on for now, and then we shall move over to our scheduled tasks here. You can access that from Site Administration again, Server, Scheduled Tasks. If your Moodle is set up properly, of course, this will run in the background. You don't need to do this manually, but we can also do it manually. So click here, run that, and that's going to extract all the learning content from all the learning activities in the course, and it'll start the comparison process as well, and it'll populate the stop word dictionary as well. So we'll just let that run for a bit. So now the scheduled task is run to completion. It's made its first comparison. So we can go back into the settings page for the lowered block here and see that indeed our stop word dictionary is now full of stop words. So if you click on any of those and then save changes, it'll pull that stop word out of the dictionary. Likewise, to add a word to the dictionary, just type it in here, save changes, and it'll get added to this list. And then those words won't get used in comparisons. So that's how to use that feature. And so the Lord block here. Now that we've run the scheduled task once, when we first installed, this was all 0, of course. Now that we've run the scheduled task once, we've got a number of learning objects here, number of comparisons to make. We just did the first comparison, and there was no errors. And just a little note about errors. Usually that'll happen when really long sentences are compared. The word net similarity calculation can sometimes time out. So once you get errors in there, if you do, it doesn't always happen, come in here, remove the maximum or reduce the maximum number of words to allow in a sentence, and then reset comparison errors, save changes, and that'll reset the errors. And then when the scheduled task runs again, then those comparisons will be made again, but with shorter sentences to hopefully reduce or eliminate the error. And that is how to install and configure the Lord Block plugin.